tell me about the king of the beach.
Dave Portnoy is the king of the beach. Always has been.
Dave Portnoy would tell you that he is the king of the beach.
I mean, I can't think of any other kings of the beach.
Who's the king of the beach?
Has there been a spike ball competitor on par with you?
Hammer and God is what they call that in Nantucket. That's when I go hour left.
Not that I've run into, no.
When did you start playing spike ball?
So that was Nantucket this summer, maybe, I don't know, 6-7 years ago?
I believe it dates back to 2015, Nantucket Island.
I believe it originated at the beach.
I think King of the Beach was really just one summer. Dave was like, I just want to flex and show how easy it is for me to change my nicknames.
You know, I was in Nantucket every summer doing beach games, lawn games, like cornhole, spike ball, poles, horseshoes, you name it. We were doing it, and I was winning.
All right, so been back from Nantucket for like 2 weeks, and it's still 85 and sunny. Sucks being in the office. I miss killing people on spike ball.
If I recall, he went on, allegedly, because I wasn't there, but there's a lot of island talk about him going, and when I say island talk, from Dave Portnoy's camp, he went like 19-0.
There's an urban legend, I believe, that he went 19-0 a certain day in Nantucket. So I think that's kind of where it stemmed from.
And I think he was taking on everyone. I think he was taking on Islanders. He was taking on kids that were out there for the weekend, and like NHL players. I think Nick Bonino might have caught it. I think some of the famous that I heard about was maybe not infamous, same as there's the guys that own Stats in South Boston. Statieri's brothers is the name of them, and he was going around calling them the Statieri sisters.
So my record conservatively is like 21-0, I think, 24-0, something. I lost count.
What is your current record?
Jeez, you're going back in time. I don't think I ever lost.
You've seen Dave lose at spike ball before.
Yeah, we were in a tournament. We lost to like a 13-year-old kid. 2 13-year-old kids, me and Dave.
There's one controversial one in a tournament in Nantucket, but it didn't count. It was an illegal contest. I don't know, I was like 40-0 or something like that.
How quickly did you know you were good?
Well, I'm good at everything.
So what we're going to do is we're going to have an office spike ball game. They take too long. Pick partners out of a hat, one game, winner take all. We got all the names here, everybody in the office.
There's a lot of differing opinions on how great he was or how bad his opponents were.
I heard there were people coming up to him and afraid of him. He was so good, they would run by and say, like, that's Dave.
Yeah, I never saw that happen.
I recall the big match being, I think it was David Hank versus Dana and Blind Mike.
All right, so next up, who are playing the Unlucky 2. First person, Dana. Welcome to the Terror Dome. Okay, Dana's partner, Blind Mike.
I'm pretty good at manipulating the circumstances to make sure that I'm good at everything I do.
It'll be Hank and I versus Dana and Blind Mike. Blind Mike, you ever played spike ball?
No.
Beat him, I think, 21-0.
Beat up on like 2 18-year-olds and a blind kid. Called himself king of the beach.
I'm not. 4-0. He can't fucking return a serve. That's the you killer instinct. Learn it. If he can't get it back because he can't fucking see, that's his problem. 21-0. 21 straight. 11-0. 14-0. You're just getting mean. How's this mean? It's a fucking game. Nobody has any excuses. You guys pumping it up in these games. 14-0. Game point, gotta win by 2. Damn.
Is Dave Portnoy overrated, underrated, or properly rated in 2015 when you saw him?
At spike ball, I feel like it's just like a gotcha tape.
I think in his prime, spike ball prime, which was probably like late 30s, he probably was. I think even Dave will tell you now he's hung him up.
So on record, I think he's beaten Blind Mike, right? So I think that's all we got.
Dave Portnoy was overrated in spike ball in 2015.
I'd say he's an overrated spike ball player. I think he's got a good mental game, more so than a physical game at this point.
Dave's too rich to play spike ball now.
Do you think that there's a day that comes where you come out of retirement?
For spike ball, the timing, the circumstances, everything would have to be right. It's like these, Jake Paul fights. You got to find the right opponent, right time. So I'd never say never, but who knows?
Gas thinks that he would be a better spike ball player now than he was then because he's more fit.
I mean, he's lost weight. He's in good shape for the first time in a while. So I think he'd probably be pretty good.
Just because you lose a little weight, get a tan, cover up your bald spot, and get some money doesn't mean you get better at sports.
I think he wrote this, that Dave Portnoy is a humble guy from humble roots. Is that true?
Dave Portnoy is a humble guy from humble roots. El Presidente is a different story.
No, he's the exact opposite of that for whatever reason. There's not a humble bone in that person. That's not the way I'd leave that.
I would say no, and Dave would say no. He's neither a humble guy nor a guy from humble roots.
Are you a humble guy?
Yeah, I would say so.
From humble roots?
For sure, humble roots. It ain't bragging if you do it.
King of the beach. King of the beach.